Hangin with Deez. Here we go. Week number 10 of the NFL season. As you can see, I'm patriotic because it is, in fact, Veterans Day and the 248th birthday of our beloved Marine Corps. Semper Fi to all you jarheads out there. I'm your
Yes.
host, Deez. Of course, with me, as always, Bubba J. And we got quite a bit to go over today. Briefly touch on week 9, mostly Steeler talk, just so I can brag a little bit about how right I was. And then, of course, we will do our week 10 picks. And I guess we really got no choice but to lead this off with what is the story of the day. And that is over on the college side. The Big Ten has handed down the punishment for Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, in air quotes, the punishment for
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if I like that crease right there. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Suspended for the remainder of the regular season. Basically amounts to 3 games. Reportedly, Michigan is going to try and file an injunction to slow it down or whatever and see so that it's potential that he may be there this week.
Right.
But we'll see how that goes. Of course, by now, most of you probably know the details of this. This Connor Stallions was buying tickets to Michigan opponents' games. Typically, and if it was a game that there were 2 Michigan opponents, he would buy 2 sets on opposite sidelines. Was allegedly video recording their signals, and then there's been the video of potentially him, according to Face Match Technology. It says it's him on the Central Michigan sideline at one point.
Yeah.
There's also alleged videos of the Michigan sideline literally like pointing to the sky for a pass play, and nothing has been concrete as far as Jim Harbaugh's knowledge of it. But come on,
Sure.
you're the head coach of one of the largest programs in the country. If something like that is going on, you fucking know about it.
Yeah. You either heard about it, you're coordinating it, you think something's going on, didn't say nothing about it, which is just as bad, just as guilty,
Right.
or you're going along with it. And you're just as guilty as hey, nope, I don't want to know about it. Whatever you guys do, you run your defense, you run your secondary, whatever. Don't tell me how you're doing it. I don't want to know. You're just as guilty. Plausible deniability doesn't work in situations like this.
I agree. And if there's one good thing that is going to come out of this, it's what we talked about when we were last here, over a week ago at this point. And that is the way that coaches are going to communicate play calls from now on.
Right.
That I should have fact checked this before we went on, but I believe that I have heard that they are going to allow helmet communication come playoff time.
Well, they need to.
Yeah.
Whether or not, if not this year, next year. We
I think
talked about
next
last
year
week.
is
You got it. You got technology on the sidelines of high school. You got technology on the sidelines in the NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL. I mean, everybody has in helmet communications of some sort, except for college, and it's time that we use it because of stuff like this.
Yeah, I think it's without question going to happen next season.
Yeah.
I'm just not positive that they're going to get it implemented for the playoffs this year, which if they can do it, they should.
Yeah, as soon
It's
as possible.
far past that time. And then you don't have this problem.
Nope.
I personally feel like the no in-person scouting rule is fucking stupid anyway. Why not?
Right. I mean, it's the same as watching tape. You're just there. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I guess the thing that could be argued against that is if you're getting like the all 22 tape or even television or whatever, you're not seeing the sidelines holding their cards or signs or whatever, and then able to decipher. Okay, that means this, that means that. But again,
well,
it's fucking
what's
2023
rule when it comes to transfers. Like if a guy's entered the transfer portal, or you know he's going to enter the transfer portal, are you allowed to go watch practices, watch their games, send someone to go watch him, get, and because that would be, go into a game, you could see the sideline, you could see how he interacts with teammates, with coaches. What would be
I
the rule
agree.
there? I mean, it's
Yeah, no, I think the
not,
whole
it's
thing's
just
stupid.
signs. It's not like you're Mission Impossible into you're trying to outsmart your opponent. I figured it happens in baseball all the time. I figured your sign out. I know what you're doing. I still have to stop you. It doesn't, just because I know what you're running doesn't mean that I can stop you.
Yeah, and we both watched Pat McAfee, and he's had multiple college coaches on since this thing broke, and all of them have basically said the same thing. Like
Yep.
they just want it to go away, probably because they fucking do it too.
Right.
But
Yeah.
and
Let's
like they
not
say,
investigate everybody here. Let's just let's just get it done with.
yeah, I'd be very interested to know how this particular situation was brought to light.
Right.
Whether it's a tattletale at one of the other schools or whatever, but it seems awful strange that, because I got to believe that every major program does something
Well,
like this.
absolutely. I mean, you can't have. You're not going to convince me that Nick Saban won all them games without knowing for sure at some point in every game what the other team was going to run,
Yeah, 100%.
whether he did it legally or not. You don't win
Yeah,
that many
why
games.
they picked this particular program at this particular, juncture in time.
Someone got mad. Someone
Yeah.
didn't get promoted. Someone didn't get an internship. Someone got fired. Someone got pissed and went, you know what? I'm gonna go tell my buddies over a beer what happened.
So you think it's coming from within?
I think it's coming from within, or someone who didn't get in.
That could very well be. And then this opens like a whole new can of worms in that what does Michigan do now with Harbaugh? And what does Harbaugh decide to do? Michigan already withdrew their offer for
Well,
his
he
contract extension.
he denied that, didn't he? He said that
Oh,
never happened.
oh, did he?
I know.
That
I
very.
heard it too. Uh, let me.
But either way, if you're Jim Harbaugh and all of this shit is going down, there could be some pretty interesting opportunities in the NFL after this season. I mean, the Raiders being one, which again, that was something that literally happened uh, hours after our last show,
Right.
late hours. It happened in the middle of fucking night. I got up the next morning
Yep.
and yeah, he was shit canned. Um, so yeah, it's going to be real fucking interesting because Michigan is getting ready. They're going to lose JJ McCarthy. They're going to lose Blake Corum. I think Donovan Edwards will probably be back. They're going to lose quite a few of those offensive linemen. Um, Given the giant headache that this whole fucking thing has caused, both him and Michigan could just look at each other and be like, our time here is done.
Right.
I think some of it may depend on what happens with the remainder of the season, starting with here in a few weeks when they play Ohio State. But gun to my head, if I had to make a call right now, I think Jim Harbaugh coaches in the NFL next season.
Yeah, there's a couple good landing spots for him too. He denied that the contract was revoked on air. He says,
But he ain't signed the motherfucker.
no, the quote was, I wouldn't say that's accurate. No. He says, I can talk about the football game Saturday. I can talk about the vibes and the preparations and where that stands today, but it doesn't seem like you're interested in that. But that's what I can talk about. But Sports Illustrated on the 30th, which would have been the day before our last show, reported here that he in fact did get it revoked. It would have made him the highest paid coach in the Big Ten. So I don't see any concrete evidence that it was revoked or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Bears obviously could use a coach. The Raiders, the Chargers.
I don't know that the Bears are going to shit can Eberflus just yet.
I
Chargers, I think, if they don't make the playoffs, I stand by my preseason prediction. I think the Chargers are rock solid going to fire Brandon Staley if they don't
sure.
at least get to the playoffs, if not win a playoff game, or if they get to the playoffs and Brandon Staley's, and they exit in glorious faction.
Yeah,
I
no,
think he's gone.
yeah, I think he's going
Um,
to.
I think Frank Reich, even though he's only 1 year in, um, it, every week that I think his seat gets a little bit hotter, including after last night's debacle where he fucking trots the kicker out there for a 59-yard field goal
Right.
outside at night. Um, so but I mean, if I'm Harbaugh, Carolina is not
Not where I
a
want to
an
go either.
no, that's not an interesting
No,
destination for me.
no.
Uh,
The
the
Chargers
Chargers
the Chargers are definitely a team that he could turn around.
or
The
potentially
Patriots,
the Raiders
the
or the
Raiders,
Patriots.
the
Yeah.
Patriots. I've heard that Belichick might be on his way out.
Yep.
So yeah, it'd be interesting.
The Raiders, I mean, he's granted they're in Las Vegas now, but there's, he is a California boy.
Yep.
So I could see him going to that franchise. Not sure that might depend on where the Raiders fall in the draft and what kind of quarterback that they can get a hold of, because
Yeah,
obviously Jimmy
they have
G
to go for a
ain't the
quarterback.
answer. Yeah.
If they don't get
Um,
a quarterback in the first round or whatever round they have their first pick in, you might as well just write him off because Jimmy G's not the answer. This Aiden kid is doing okay. He had he had one decent game, but he's too green. I don't think he's the answer either.
Yeah, and in my defense of that pick last week when I picked the Giants, I didn't expect Daniel Jones to tear his fucking ACL like what
Sure.
in the first 5 minutes.
Well, I think it was messed up before because he was been in and out of injury for the last few weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, but that was a neck thing. The reason that he'd been out, I had no idea he had a knee issue. I
Yeah,
also
I
didn't
can't
take
remember what
into
it was.
account.
I just know he was out.
Yeah, that was his neck, but probably should have done a little more research on uh, interim head coaches, because the win rate of their first game is astounding. Now,
Yeah,
after that, all bets are off.
it's like
But it
what
seems
90
like
something percent win
it's
rate.
ridiculous. They
Yeah.
seem to fucking rally around the new guy, and in that case, it really looks like that team fucking hated Josh McDaniels.
Oh, they did. I mean, it's obvious with all the quotes and tweets and stuff that are coming out after that game, or after the firing, that you just I think everybody in the whole NFL community could feel the weight just lift off the shoulders. It was just a big, huge sigh of relief coming out of Nevada, and everybody's like, "Okay, now we can play football again."
Yeah. And that being said, I don't expect the Raiders to win too many more games, because at the end of the day, I think they're still a bad football team. But
Right.
um, just looking over the rest of the teams, I tell you another potential scenario for um, Jim Harbaugh is Belichick gets ousted one way or another. Mike Vrabel will be a top candidate to go to the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it was Kraft that said he was looking at Vrabel, or it might have been Patriots Nation, or who I can't remember where I saw it from, but he was definitely a number one
Yeah.
candidate to take the seat, and then Harbaugh could slide into Tennessee.
Yes, and he's
Yep.
got what looks like a solid quarterback there, which I'll get into that
Mm-hmm.
here in a few minutes. Um, Giants, they're not getting rid of Dable.
They need to.
Ru Probably. I don't know. They got to
He's
get
a
him a
good
quarterback.
coach. He's just
They
I
got
don't
to get
know.
him a quarterback.
Yeah, they need a lot more than that. But yeah,
Washington, with the way Ron Rivera's season's going, Washington could potentially be in the coaching market. I think
Ron
the
would have
Jets.
to fuck up pretty bad to get fired, though. They would have to literally lose out, I think, for Ron to lose his job.
I don't know. New ownership, man. They might think it's time for a change, but
I don't know. Rivera is a player's coach, man. And people like to play for Ron.
yeah.
He's never
Well,
been hated anywhere he goes.
I think people liked to play for Jim Harbaugh too. I mean,
Well, yeah, but he ain't gonna have
if
a
you're the
choice.
owner, I mean, if you're the owner, that is a splash hire. So
Yeah,
that's going to open doors for him that it would not necessarily open. Like if you're Washington, yeah, we like Ron. Wait,
right.
Jim
And you
Harbaugh's
got a bunch of
available?
picks.
Yeah.
And you got a bunch of picks to work with now.
I mean,
So
it's
it's
a
it's
different
it's
sport.
intriguing. It's definitely something to watch.
It's a different sport, but basically we just saw this happen with the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
David Ross wasn't doing a bad job of managing it.
No.
They needed to get him some more talent. But lo and behold, Milwaukee didn't fucking sign Craig Counsell and let him
Yep.
become a free agent.
And
Chicago
the
fucking swoops
day
in.
yeah, absolutely. How do you want $8 million to stay
Yeah.
in the same division? How does that sound?
Yep.
Yeah. Where
And
do I
and Ross
sign?
is, sorry, Dave, but this is a proven fucking hot commodity in the managerial role.
Yep.
There we go. And I could see an NFL team potentially doing that for a Jim Harbaugh.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
but we'll see how it goes. I personally, closing thoughts on this Michigan thing. I think it's fucking stupid. You're not, you're not punishing. The only people you're punishing are those fucking kids.
Yep.
You're punishing the guys that sacrifice every day to go to your school, and now they have to pay the price, whether or not Harbaugh knew about it. Of
Right.
course, he fucking knew about it,
And with
but
this whole, can't coach can't be on the sidelines during the games, that tells me too that the NCAA and the Big Ten also think this is stupid, but because of the publicity and everything else, they have to do something. If you really think this coach is involved, you really think of rules being violated and someone is early getting a competitive advantage, you don't let him coach or in the building, you don't let him near anybody at all for any
we'll
reason.
see. But and that's the other thing is the NCAA they're basically powerless anymore as far as punishing schools. They
Yep.
have nothing to do with the playoff thing, and they have nothing to do with the school. So it's basically down to the conference and or the school.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just one of a. All right, look,
Right.
we
We
got
have
to
to
have a
do
fall
something.
guy. We have
Yep.
to, try and save face here. But he gets to coach them Sunday through Friday,
Well,
and they just can't be there on the sidelines.
can he be in the box?
Uh, it's kind of murky, but from what I
It is.
understand, he cannot be at the game at all on game day. Now we'll see what happens if they try to go to court and have an injunction and this, that, and the other. But um, I don't think it'll affect
As
them
a
too
penalty
awful much.
imposed on the institution, the university football team must compete without its head football coach for the games remaining in the 2023 regular season, effective immediately.
Which means that he
So,
gets
for
to come back for the
clarity,
playoffs.
for clarity, the head football coach shall not be present at the game venue on the dates of the games to which this disciplinary action applies.
Okay, so he can't be in the
He
stadium.
can't be at the stadium at all.
Can he call in?
Right. Yeah. I mean, why not? Sure.
Who's who's to stop? All right, coaches wear the fucking headsets, right? Who's to stop a coach from sitting in a goddamn sports bar across the street on the phone and a dude's got one of these things hidden by this thing?
Right.
I mean,
saying word for word what Harbaugh wants.
Yeah. It's 4th and 1, coach. What do you want to do?
Right.
Fucking go for it. And all
Right.
right, we're going for it. Like it's with technology, of course, they probably got fucking off-duty FBI agents
ISO pro
monitoring the
right
goddamn.
Libra X Lima X. Just calling the plays from the fucking bar.
Yeah,
Every time I hit got pass it.
The whole thing is pretty damn silly, if you ask me.
Stupid.
But
I mean, I'm glad it's happening in Michigan. Being in Illinois, Big Ten. I like that it's happening in Michigan, but I don't think it needs to happen to anybody. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, before we get into our Week 10 picks, just throw this on there and look at that. thing of beauty.
10 games back. I got time. Plenty of season left.
But you do have time, but you keep fucking dropping. Every week you
I
drop
only
another
dropped one
game.
game this week.
Let me kick it off by going all the way back. Seems like forever ago, but last Thursday night, of course, Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee Titans. Do you remember my score prediction?
I don't. I know you said it was going to be close by, I think it was by 3 20 to, was it 2016?
I predicted 19-16.
19 to 16.
And the final was 20-16.
Yeah.
But it basically went the fourth quarter went exactly. I figured it was going to be close. I thought they were going to be down going into the fourth, and fourth quarter Kenny was going to do what fourth quarter Kenny does, and that's exactly what happened. Now, what I had no fucking idea would happen, very happy that it did, but shocked the ever-loving shit out of me. And of course, we know Matt Canada was down on the sidelines. Great. Looked like it may have helped. But the biggest surprise came at kickoff. Mike Tomlin says, "We want the ball." I literally was like, oh, what fucking bizarro world are we in? Not only do they get the ball, they march right down the fucking field and score a touchdown.
Yep.
Not just a field goal, an actual NFL touchdown.
First quarter, first drive touchdown.
Dude, I think that's only like the second time in 2 years, maybe more, that has happened, that we have scored a touchdown on our opening drive. I remember last year it was like a 19 game streak without an opening drive score, something like that. And I was just like, is this real life? Like, but then Matt Canada, and Kenny Pickett. He was really good on that drive, and then he looked really bad the rest of it. Just missing guys left and right. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that his ribs maybe still bothered him a little bit, and it took him a while to warm the muscles up around it, hence the fourth quarter. But at the same time, he's had that kind of fourth quarter every close game that they've played in. The running game got going a little bit. Granted, it was Tennessee. Tennessee's defense isn't great, but it was still nice to see. It was a more balanced attack between Naj and Jalen Warren. I thought both of them ran the ball very well. Chuks Okafor, our right tackle, it still hasn't been reported what was said, but it has been pretty much confirmed that something he said either during or in it as a result of the week before the Jaguar game, he got benched and Broderick Jones got the start and played marvelous. Like significant improvement with the Rook in there playing. Joey Porter, fucking, go ahead.
It would have been nice to have a right tackle in our game.
Oh, is that one of your problems?
That was our only problem.
Yeah. No, he played amazing.
To go back to your point, the Steelers got their first drive touchdown for the first time in 14 games.
There you have it. And they had a big stretch prior to that even dates back to Big Ben. Matt Canada's offenses just don't score in the fucking first quarter, well, especially the first drive.
Yeah, that was the first drive. They've scored in the first quarter, but that was their first drive touchdown in 14 games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I literally was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like bizarro world.
Right.
Then I was quickly snatched back to reality because at first I'm like, oh, we're going to blow them out if we made it the first drive look this easy. But yeah, no, it wasn't meant to be. Of course, they have to keep them around for a little while and do what we do at the end. And the whole George Pickens thing, is it concerning? A little bit, but at the same time, I get it. He was all we had there for a few weeks when Deontay was gone. And now all of a sudden Deontay comes back and it's like we forgot that we have George Pickens on the team. Granted, he should have got his fucking foot down. He had a mile to drag that other foot. I don't know if you saw it, but
I did not.
Yeah, easy touchdown if he just drags the foot, but he missed it. And he was pretty irate. after the game and deleted all the Steelers shit off his Instagram for a
I did.
day.
I did. I was wondering if you were going to talk about that. I saw that.
Yeah. And again, I hate to see it because we already knew that he had kind of this volatile personality from his time with Georgia, but at the same time, get the man involved. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever that you, Matt Canada, Mike Tomlin, Jesus Christ himself could say to convince me that George Pickens should not be targeted no less than 10 times a game. He's a dynamic talent. And why we don't just send him on a fly route and throw it as fucking far as you can throw it.
Now, was it this game? Yeah, I'm not sure. Was it did someone score their first touchdown?
Deontay Johnson scored his first touchdown in like, what was it, 21 games? The last touchdown Deontay Johnson caught was Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
In
It had to be
week
that
17.
then because
Yeah.
I saw a picture about that where he got his touchdown, the whole team's giving him, and you see Pickens walking away, back turned, just
he was pretty salty. And again, I kind of get it. But at the same time, don't do that shit on the field.
right. He's your teammate, man. I mean, you guys need to be a team right now if you're going to be something. If you're wanting to make the playoffs, this is not
Deontay says that he talked to him afterwards and that everything's cool, and he's trying to explain it like, hey, this is a team thing. You're gonna get yours. Let's fucking save that shit for private, not out in public.
Right.
I'd like to say that I think it's going to be a one and done and be over with, but I think George Pickens has the kind of personality / attitude that it's going to happen again until we get a competent offensive coordinator in there, maybe a quarterback upgrade. I don't know. I'm very skeptical of what I see from Kenny Pickett, but I have to give him the benefit of the doubt and get a real offensive coordinator in there and start game planning for these superstars that you have. Deontay Johnson had 14 targets against Washington. George Pickens had 5. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If I had to, I'm making Kenny and George stay late every day and just work on fucking timing deep routes, whatever they got to do to build rapport, because he is way too talented to only be getting 4 or 5 balls thrown his way. He just, even when he doesn't get separation as well as Deontay, he still has the body control to get to the ball. He's proven that.
Right.
So I get it. I understand why he's pissed off, and they got to do something to change that. But what was the other? There was one other point I wanted to make about. 2 points. First off, I think Tennessee has a guy in Will Levis.
Yeah.
Looks like he's the fucking real deal. So kudos on them. So that tells me Ryan Tannehill is probably going to have his ass shipped out of town. So there could be a team out there looking for a savvy vet. The other thing I want to say is, and I have been already saying it, but I think last week proved it, is that Joey Porter Jr. is going to be a fucking superstar in this league. He was targeted, or he was matched up with DeAndre 10 times. He allowed 1 catch for 12 yards. That's pretty fucking amazing for a rookie against DeAndre Hopkins. So, give that man the best wide receiver from here on out. Sure, he's physical. He's going to cost you a penalty or two here and there, and he's probably going to learn a couple lessons. But I think we potentially have a fucking Darrelle Revis situation with Joey Porter Jr. He's just got that dog in him, and I can't wait to see him on the field with a healthy Minka, because I think that's going to create a lot of fucking turnovers. And the last but not least, before we move on to the rest of the week, how about TJ Watt fucking rip my helmet off? I don't fucking care.
I'm
still going to sack the goddamn quarterback.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. Very, very good to see. So very encouraged by all that. Now, did you want to go over the Cowboy game before we jump into the fun stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we lost, of course. It was probably going to happen anyway. But if you take away a couple key mistakes, we win that game.
Agreed.
Dak missed a wide open Ferguson in the middle of the field for a crucial fourth down. He threw a fucking lame ass pass to the flat, or not the flat. It was an out route to one of our tight ends that got tackled at the 1 yard line, whatever, on fourth and goal
Tackled at the fucking like
at the half
2-inch
right.
line. Yeah.
But Gallup is wide open on the right side of the field, dancing, kicking, screaming like just didn't go through his progressions at all.
Dak steps out of bounds on the 2-point
Dak,
conversion.
yeah, which you can say that was his fault, which I mean, sure it was, but he's running hard, he's trying to make a play. He just, a game of inches. He just took that one step was a little too far, and who knows?
Clock management
Clock management in
was
the fourth quarter was terrible. That's on Mike McCarthy all day long. If you have that's typical Cowboys football. You have the talent to win a Super Bowl. You have
typical Mike McCarthy football.
Yeah, you have the pieces in place to win games, win big games against good teams, and you fuck it up. Dak played a career game. This was not Dak's fault. He made a couple of mistakes, but if you want to nitpick the quarterback, that's a touchdown instead of a turnover on downs. And it's a field goal game, which changes that next drive if he doesn't step out of bounds. So now you got the 2-point conversion. You're down by 3, which you do your next 2.5 minutes or whatever it was of football way different than you did being down by 5.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. You miss a key touchdown, which puts you ahead instead of turning the ball over. So yeah, Dak made some mistakes, but that game was not. Terrence Steele played the worst game I think I've ever seen an offensive lineman play. He was our right tackle. He allowed 12 pressures, 7 hurries.
In one game?
And 4 sacks.
In one game?
In one game. His pass block grade was 15 out of 100.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't watch it close enough to notice that. That's pretty bad.
He was absolutely terrible.
And on the other side, our rookie Broderick Jones allowed 0 pressures.
Right. You can't win games when one guy lets the in your face.
Yeah, that's
and for that to be, and you're sacked. I think he was sacked 5 or 6 times total in that game. Didn't throw an interception. Didn't fumble the ball. And you lose by 5. That's not Dak's fault. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of Dak. I think we should have traded him years ago. I think he needs to go now. I'm not, but that's not his fault. Tony Pollard ran for 40-something yards, 50-something yards. So
he's not it.
That part of our game wasn't it. He's not a 3-down back end. We have said it all year. It's just it was a rough game to watch, but it's on the other side of the coin. It's kind of positive because if you can have that many mistakes and still only lose to the best team in the NFL by 5 on the road, you gotta
encouraging.
You gotta have a little bit of hope there.
Yeah, no, it's encouraging. And that was the first matchup, right? They still got them again.
We got in 2 or 3 weeks. Yep.
Okay.
At home, I believe.
I mean, and maybe they did, but you gotta think, why didn't they go after a guy like Dalvin Cook?
Right.
Because then you could put Pollard back to where he thrives, and that is in that special role, that change of pace role. You're not relying on him for that many carries and touches. You can make him more of the dynamic player that he was when he had Zeke. and it isn't like you don't get that dynamic stuff from Dalvin Cook on the other side. You got two fresh running backs just rotating in and out.
Yep.
So I don't know. And who's to say they didn't make that call? Maybe the Jets told them to get fucked, but
Right. Yeah, we got the Eagles on prime time Sunday Night Football Week 14 at home at AT&T.
how depressing is it that we're at week 10 already?
Right. For an 18-week season, it's already half over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Sucks.
goes by fast.
All right. Let's talk week 10. You saw the record there. I'm sitting pretty right now.
Comfortably
10
in the lead.
game lead.
We'll say that comfortably. But what's your fantasy team look like?
Which one? I'm in
Oh,
first place.
Either one.
I'm in first place in 2 leagues. I'm in second place in another league, and then in your league, I'm middle of the pack. But if you look at where I was and where I'm at now, I'm coming.
Well, I mean,
I'm climbing the ladder.
You're in 6th place right now out of 10 in my league.
Okay. I think I started like 1-4, 1-5, something like that, and I've managed to get back to respectable.
You got 3 wins in a row, I believe. My wife, she's been asking me every time we do this for like the last 3 weeks, I give her a shout out. But I gotta give her a shout out. The Huddle Hussies are in first place with a record of 8-1, 1,414 total points. With me right behind them, Tiggle Gritties.
Which I beat you. I beat you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I just beat her last week. I gave her
nice.
She played her worst game ever. I think she scored like 103 points. So I have to give her a shout out, but you're just out of playoff contention right now, my friend, in that league.
Oh shit! I got a bunch of people on buys this week.
So, and then in your league, I'm in third place, 6-3.
Oh, you dropped one?
Yeah. Well, me and LeGarrett's Blunts and Run CMC keep bouncing back and forth. You're comfortable with 7-2 with 1,300 points total. I'm in third, 6-3 with 1,242. So we're coming.
Wait,
I mean,
I'm in second or first?
You're in first in that one.
Okay.
Yep. I won't say your team name out loud because I don't want to offend anybody, but I love it. But and my Baltimore Ravens are, they might be.
You fucked up. I think you fucked up by changing.
I did. They might be, right there in that Super Bowl contention again.
Ever since you made that change, Baltimore has looked like just gods.
Yep. And Miami has been shit because every time they play a winning record team, they lose. So I don't know.
Oh shit! I need to get on here and make some moves because I got a bunch of fucking people on bye weeks that I didn't.
Yeah, and we already have one game completed this week.
Yeah, and I don't think I had Cole Kmet starting in the 1 or 2 leagues that I have him in, but so yeah, I'm doing all right, and I think in your league, like I said, I think I'll be there come playoff time. I don't know that I'll win anything, but
you can definitely make a push. We'll see.
Yep. So all right, let's get into week 10.
I'm excited for week 10. There's some good games here.
Just going back to last night's snooze fest between the Bears and the Panthers. Yeah. If I had to make a pick there, it would have been heroin as opposed to watching that shit show. But I can comfortably say I would have taken the Bears at home.
I would have too. I just think the Panthers are, to win one game was luck. I think they're going to win, maybe one more all year. They play us next week. So that's
Yeah,
they're probably going
that'll
to lose that one.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, we've lost to Arizona earlier this year, so anything's
All
possible.
right. So here we go, kicking them off. 8:30 in the morning once again from Germany. We have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New England Patriots. I don't know that I could comfortably pick New England against anybody else right now. Maybe for
Maybe
the
if they
rest of the
played
year.
themselves,
Yeah.
but that's probably it.
Yeah. Definitely going Colts here.
Yeah, me too.
The only shock of that game is that it's only a 2.5 point line.
Yeah.
All right, next game we got the Texans and CJ Stroud, who was just masterful last week, taking on the Bengals. And again, the Bengals look like they are hitting their stride. In Cincy is 6.5 point favorite. Yeah, I think CJ is gonna have a solid game again because it looks like he might, be the real deal. But unfortunately, as much as I would love to see Houston win this one, I think Cincinnati wins by 8 to 10 if I had to pick.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be closer than that. I'll take Cincy by 3. I like the way CJ's playing. He spread the ball around a lot. Obviously,
Although
with his billion yards and 100
T
touchdowns
Higgins
last year or
T
last week.
Higgins is out, and I believe Jamar Chase is questionable at this point. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, I might lean towards the Texans.
If Jamar Chase don't play, it's a completely different game.
Yeah. I think he's going to play. I don't think he practiced yesterday, but I don't know. Something tells me he's going to be there. So I'm going to stick with my pick. It might be a little closer than 8 points, though.
Jamar Chase limited for his back.
Yeah, he'll play.
T. Higgins is out. They've already classified him. He is out.
Yeah, they'll shoot him up with some Toradol or whatever, and Chase will be out there. So I'm going to stick with the Bengals.
Yeah, like I said, it could be a close game. I give him by 3, but I'm going to take Cincy as well. But I still look for CJ Stroud to throw that ball around quite a bit.
Oh, I agree. Moving on, we got the Saints taking on the Josh Dobbs led Vikings, the Pasternaut, as they're now calling him. Hats off to him, man.
Sure.
Did you see whatever is it O'Connell on the McAfee show talking about how he was literally, okay, look to your right. That's Jordan Addison over there. Over here is so and so. He's running this, he's running that, like basically explaining the plays to him until they cut the comms off in his headset. And for him to be able to digest that and come in there and lead them from behind for that win last week is pretty damn phenomenal.
Very impressive.
As somebody who has watched Josh Dobbs for most of his career because he was with Pittsburgh, very happy to see him finally, thriving somewhere.
Right.
That being said, Saints got a pretty tough defense, but it's going to be in Minnesota. Probably going to be pretty chilly up there.
Well, they play in a dome.
The Vikings? Oh, it is retractable, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, pussies. Either way, fuck it. I believe in Josh Dobbs. Look what he did with a shitty Arizona team. Now he's got some talent there.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson won't be back this week. He's practicing. Did they activate him? I think they said that he's not going to be active this week. That his window is opened, but I don't think he's going to be ready for this week. Unless they were just bluffing. Either way, I'm taking the Vikings.
Justin Jefferson hamstring is listed as questionable today. Not out.
All right. Well, maybe they got a surprise for us, but I'm taking the Vikings regardless. But once he gets back there and it looks like Jordan Addison is starting to find his niche too, they could make a little noise in that division.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think the Vikings take this one. I still think it's a mess down there in New Orleans. Um, I can't remember if I was talking to you or it had to have been someone else. I just think that Derek Carr just don't fit down there in New Orleans. The system's not right. The coaching's not right. Something's not right. I got the Vikings like this on this one.
Then we got the Tennessee Titans, led now by Will Levis, traveling down to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, who put up a lot of points, but just not enough against Houston and CJ last week.
Yep. Yeah, I'll pick first. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield looked good. What's his name in the backfield? I can't remember.
Rashad White.
White had a good game. I think Tampa Bay takes this one.
All right, to make it interesting, I'm gonna go with Will Levis here. Give me Tennessee. Then we got San Francisco 49ers traveling to Jacksonville. San Fran coming off a bye, I believe.
San Fran, yep.
And a 3-game losing streak prior to that.
And a couple new additions on defense.
Yep, Chase Young is there.
Debo's back.
We have a West Coast traveling far East Coast for a noon game.
Yep.
San Francisco is a 3-point favorite. With the whole travel thing factoring in, I just can't see San Francisco dropping 4 in a row.
No?
And Jacksonville, if they have a weakness, like I talked about against Pittsburgh, and we did get pressure on him, it is pass protection. He's going to have to get the ball out very early. I think those guys are going to wreak havoc. Obviously, it's a much more balanced team than what they faced in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I think San Francisco shakes off the early morning jet lag and gets a win here. And that 3 points is probably about spot on. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think Niners find a way.
Yeah, coming off a bye, losing 3 straight. You get Chase Young, sorry. Damn it. I don't know why. Every time I talk about him, I just give him the wrong last name.
Obscure backup quarterback.
Yeah, I just don't I don't see him dropping 4 straight. I would love, and I really hope we both lose this pick. Because I hope the Jaguars go in there and just beat the brakes off of them. But for the same reasons, coming off a bye week, you can't go in losing 3 straight, have a bye week, and then lose another one. You just can't. Not for a team that's supposed to go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, give me the Niners.
All right, and then huge divisional matchup. We have the Cleveland Browns traveling to Baltimore to take on what has looked like a juggernaut as of late. Deshaun Watson is back. Actually had a decent game last week against, of course, the Cardinals, but he didn't light it up. He was 219 for 2 touchdowns. Ford and Hunt both split carries there. As good as the Ravens have looked, and they have, there's just something about this game.
There's just something about the Browns that you just can't count them out of any divisional game.
Have they played each other yet? Yes, they have. Ravens beat them 28-3 back in week 4, I believe it was. Give me the Browns.
Well, we're going to split this one. The Ravens have looked too good. I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to play very well. I think he came back against Arizona because he thought he'd get an easy win, and then it would, get some of the hype off of him of why he hasn't been playing. But I got to stay with Lamar and the Ravens, and I think it's going to be a double-digit win by 10 or more.
Double digits. Yeah, something about that. The AFC North football, I just think it's going to be a tight game, and I don't know. Just my gut tells me that they're going to split. By the way, all four, if the playoffs started today, all four AFC North teams would be in the playoffs.
I saw that. And
As rough, I mean, go back to let's go to like week 4. You had, I think Cleveland was maybe 2-2. Pittsburgh was 2-2. The Bengals, I think, were 1-3. Like, and then for all of them to turn it around and be where they're at, it's pretty damn amazing. So, going to be an interesting second half of the season. But yeah, I don't know. Something tells me that the old divisional stuff is going to rear its head here, and Cleveland will find some way to win this. Now, the last game of the noon slate, the arguably two of the most storied franchises in NFL history, two of the winningest franchises in NFL history. Both not really looking like themselves. Both have a lot in common as far as how they do business. That is, of course, the Green Bay Packers traveling to Heinz Field. Fuck Acrisure. It's always going to be Heinz to me. Packers taking on the Steelers.
Yep. A game I would love to watch twice, for sure.
I bet the fourth quarter is fun.
It's probably when I'll turn it on.
Yeah.
About 8 minutes to go.
That's basically where I'm at with this team right now. I think both teams are going to struggle on offense early. I think we'll run the ball decent, but not enough to really put any considerable points on the board. Right. I see this going into the fourth quarter just like Tennessee, or somewhere in the 13-10 range, and then Kenny's going to do what Kenny loves to do, and we're going to win it. We're going to fucking win it.
Well,
sorry about it.
As much as I'm looking forward to this game, as much as I love both teams, my father-in-law is a Packers fan.
Before you make your pick, let me tell you that Jair Alexander is very questionable.
Oh, no, you could tell me whatever you want. It's not gonna change my pick at all. Either one of these teams could win. Either one of these teams could lose it for themselves. They're both that bad, and they're both capable enough of beating each other.
Pittsburgh is number 2 in takeaway turnover ratio right now. Just
with that said, the Steelers will win this game.
You fucking A right, they will.
At home, barely, in typical Steelers fashion. It will be a shit show. I will laugh more than I cheer, but this one's going to be on TV for me, I'm sure. It's a local game.
It is. Yeah, it is.
If I get to watch it, if I get some time at work, I got to work this weekend, I will try to tune in so I can see the calamity that it's going to be. But
Matt Canada has already received his orders that he is now a sideline coordinator until told otherwise.
Well, either way, he could stay home or coach in the parking lot. I don't think it's going to matter. But give me Pittsburgh by can they score half points by 1? We'll go by 1.
I think it'll be by 3 or 4. It's either going to be a field goal or we're going to be up by 4 and have to rely on the defense to do what they had to basically rely on them to do just about every time, which is get a big stop at the end. Plus, we're breaking out the block numbers. The old 70s throwbacks are going to be on. Nothing but good things can happen when they rock those. So yeah, Steelers get a win here. All right, moving on to the afternoon slate. We have, speaking of games you want to watch twice, the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Arizona Cardinals.
Woo!
Kyler Murray confirmed is going to start. Falcons really like to turn the ball over.
Yeah, and they don't like to hand it to their number one overall, one of the best running backs in the league.
Oh man, my gut just says Arizona's going to win this, and Kyler's game back.
Mine does too. I don't know by what or why, but I got Arizona on this one.
Yeah.
I
My boy
I don't
Jake
even
just,
have a
just
reason
commented.
why. I just don't know. I mean, the Falcons are proving me wrong. To be my sleeper team in the NFC. I really, they're the
But
start.
see, they're in the South though. They're not done.
No, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
in the start, they were looking okay, and then the last few games, just like they just forgot how to play football. It just or forget how to coach. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know, but something tells me Kyler's going to come back and revive this team a little bit and sneak a win here.
I mean, Taylor Heineke put up some solid numbers. Where was he? 21 to 38 for 268, one tud, one pick. Bijan 4.6 per. They ran the ball decent, but yeah, again, my gut just says that Kyler's gonna look good for this game. I still don't necessarily believe in him as a long-term solution, but I got no choice. I got to take Arizona this game.
Yep.
Lions taking on the Chargers out in LA, but it doesn't matter because the Chargers never have a fucking home game, and I can't remember the last time they actually did. So yeah, give me the Lions bouncing back from their last loss.
Yeah, I expect Detroit to go ahead here and just wallop them pretty good. Dan Campbell's got to be fed up with it. He's going to turn them around here.
Yeah. New York Football Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys with Danny DeVito, I think, is their fucking quarterback. Is that?
Yep. Illini quarterback.
Yeah. This game better be 40-3.
I agree.
That's all I got to fucking say.
Yeah, it better be Dak's best game of his career. I expect Gallup and Cooks both to get a touchdown.
And what I gotta ask, what do you think of fucking Martavis Bryant joining you?
Well, I mean, we'll see. He's
31 years old.
I think this is this reason. This is the only reason why they went after him and got him. He's 6'4", and our red zone offense is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if he can recapture even a little bit of what he had before he smoked his way out of the NFL, which is bullshit. Marijuana should have never led to that. But if he can recapture some of that, he is an amazing red zone talent.
Oh yeah,
and he can also take the top off. But so can CeeDee Lamb, so can Gallup for that matter. But if he can,
with his talent, it's like having it's an older CeeDee Lamb on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the field.
Yeah. But he's 6'3", 6'4", tall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lamb 6'3", I think.
Is CeeDee Lamb that tall?
I think so.
Oh wow. Sure. Yeah, I wish nothing but the best for the guy. I the Steeler in me hates the fact that he's a Cowboy, but he should have never been suspended for as long as he was for fucking marijuana. Okay. So yeah, I hope he does well. Let's be honest, this is obviously just an audition for the rest of the NFL, and hopefully he does something good with it. But yeah, Cowboys win big here. That's basically what we're getting at.
And they fucking better.
I agree. Washington Commanders travel out to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seattle's kind of struggled a little bit lately. Washington, you never know which fucking Washington team's going to show up. They kind of had a fire sale at the trade deadline.
Yep.
So yeah, give me Seattle bouncing back here, getting the win.
Yeah, 12th man is undeniable. It's one of the hardest places to play. Washington giving up, some key people on defense. I think, was it this week? I just saw Wentz went to the Rams.
Yes.
So, I think they're preparing for a rebuild, and Seattle's going to help them along with that.
They have to rebuild. They're just done. Sam Howell, I don't think is the answer there. And
then we get the primetime game.
For the love of God, why did they not flex this fucking game out?
Right. I mean, anybody else. Let's Chargers Lions to prime
right?
time. If
Jets,
there's anybody.
Raiders,
Packers,
Sunday
Steelers.
night.
I mean,
I would have taken the fucking Falcons Cardinals game.
Probably with Kyler Murray coming back. Yeah.
Jets, Raiders. After what I have been watching these last couple of weeks with Zach Wilson, I cannot, in good faith, pick the fucking Jets.
I'm not picking the Jets for the simple fact that the Raiders are finally ready to play football again. They're excited to play. They're at home.
The only saving grace the Jets may have is their defense against that quarterback.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that's going to keep it close.
You know what? Fuck it. Give me the Jets. They got their big high win, new coach last week. I think it's letdown season. I think the Jets defense gives that rookie fucking fits. I don't think it's going to be any kind of blowout or high scoring game or anything like that. But I think the Jets win this one 17-13.
Yeah, and
not sure where they're going to get 17 points, but I'm going to take them.
No, and
17-13.
Yeah, I had this one 13-10 Raiders. They're like I said, the Raiders are ready to play football. There's a huge weight lifted off their shoulders. Even Hunter Renfrow was, excited about the fire.
Yeah, he actually got to play.
Yeah, so why not the Raiders? The Raiders at home getting another one. Aiden O'Connell go 2-0 as a rookie.
Yeah. Again, I'm basing this solely on the new coach, big win, next week let down. And the Jets defense is legit. So
pick six and a punt return TD. That's how the Jets are going to win, I think is what Jake said.
And that could very well be it.
It very well could. Even though
wouldn't be surprised.
The Jets gave up a big kick return on last week.
Yeah.
So
and then speaking of fucking games that I don't want to watch, Monday night, the Broncos and the Bills. Broncos are, they're 3-5, but they are not a good football team.
No.
The Bills are 5-4. How bad is it?
Football team.
How bad is it when Latavius Murray, who is in his first year with Buffalo, talks about calling or leading a players-only meeting?
Yeah,
they're at home, so I got to go Buffalo.
Yeah, you got to go Buffalo here, but this is definitely a game that the Denver Broncos could go in and just shock the world and say, "Hey guys, we struggled, we were picking up the pieces, and here we come." I mean, it really could be, a turnaround game for them. But I got to go Buffalo. It's just it's the smarter pick
for sure.
So, to recap our picks, we both have the Colts, the Bengals, the Vikings, the Niners, the Steelers, the Cardinals, Lions, Cowboys, Seahawks, and the Bills winning their games this week. You think the Titans are going to beat the Bucks? I disagree. I think the Ravens are going to take on the Browns. And we split the Raiders and Jets. You going with the Jets, me with the Raiders. So I have a potential to pick up 3 whole games on you this week if it goes in my favor.
Woo-hoo.
So
Worst case scenario, I'm still 7 games up, so I'm feeling pretty strong about that.
Right. But it's not over. I know a couple fat ladies and they ain't singing yet, buddy. So it's not over.
Yeah, no, there's still. I mean, hell, we got basically half the season left.
Yeah.
And
then we get playoff football. And I'm ready for playoffs.
Yeah, as bad as the Steelers have looked, I'll just run this by you. Here's our remaining schedule. Packers, Browns, Bengals, Cardinals, Patriots, Colts, Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens.
You win 4 of those, in my opinion.
So you're saying Packers, Cardinals, Patriots, and either what?
Colts, or you split one with Cincy.
I think, again, call me crazy. I almost guarantee we're going to split with Cincy. Somehow, some way, we will find a way to split with Cincy.
Yeah, but you're going to split with Cincy, so you're either going to win 4 or 5 of those. So you're going to beat the Colts or you're not, and you're going to split with Cincy.
I got us going 5 and whatever it is. I got Packers.
You got 7 games left for 8 games. Have you had a bye week yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got us.
You got 8 games.
I got us beating the Packers. I think we're going to beat the Browns. I'll say we lose the first time to the Bengals. We beat the Cardinals. We beat the Patriots. I think we can beat the Colts. Then we beat the Bengals. Seattle. Seattle's iffy. I'll give them the edge because we're in Seattle, and then we're probably going to lose to the Ravens. I got us 10-7 at least.
Yeah, I mean I got you winning 4, maybe 5 of those games. I mean that's the best I can do.
I'll take it.
And we got. Let me see here. Let me write it down. Pretty easy schedule to go.
For us or for you?
For Cowboys.
Giants, yes. Panthers, yes. Commanders, yes. Seahawks, at home, so I'll give you that one. Eagles, potentially. At Buffalo is going to be, that's one of those games that I think can get you. At Dolphins, again, that they could get you. Lions. So there's 3 potential L's there. Something, again, it's one of those divisional things. I could see you somehow fucking up and splitting with Washington. So I see 4 potential losses there.
Yeah, I have a very questionable game against the Lions. That would be my questionable game. I have us winning 4 in a row. Giants,
yeah, that could very well be, Jake.
Seattle. We have Seattle at home. But I think we lose to Philly again. I think we lose to the Bills. We're in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the only reason right now on paper I'm picking Buffalo is because they're home.
I think we beat Miami because Miami has yet to show me they can beat a team with a winning record. And our defense, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I mean,
Miami is one of those teams that right now, the way, like you said, they haven't beat a good team.
Right. And the Lions, flip a coin. It really could go either way.
Yeah.
And I think we beat the Commanders twice. I don't think we split at all. Um, I think their plan is to, if they win one, cool. If not, they're okay with it. I really do. I think the Commanders are content with being 4-14 or whatever it's going to be, 4-13. So I got them going. Let's say we lose to the Lions, we're 6-3 to finish our season.
So 11-6.
Yep.
I could see that. I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
So, but these next 4 games, if we win the next 4 like I predict, we will lose to Philly. It'll happen. Our heads will get big. The fans will be behind them. Hey guys, here we are. No, then you're gonna get slapped by Philly. You're probably gonna lose again to the Bills the very next week in Buffalo.
In mid-December.
Right, and everybody's gonna go, well, what the hell? What the shit? We're doing so good. We're doing so good. And then even those last few games, Philly, Bills, Finns, Lions, those could all be losses. Yeah. Every single one of them.
Yeah, so, that's going to be a tough stretch for you guys. Starting with Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's home, so I'll give you the edge, but it's one of those games that could go either way. But then, like you said, then you have Murderers Row there, and that's Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions.
Yeah, that
4 game is going to make or break your season.
Yeah, Jake, Stephen A can suck on my knob. I don't give a shit what he thinks, how he feels. He is one of the worst sports reporters, or whatever the hell you want to call him, that I've ever listened to.
Hey, Jake, real quick before I wrap it up, you weren't here for the beginning when we talked about it. What's your thoughts on Cubs Ross Council thing? Jake's a huge Cub fan.
I'm sure he's loving it. I know as a Cardinal fan, I'm scared. That dude can coach some baseball, man. So
and now we wait. Type fast, bro. I like it if they're going to spend money.
Yeah.
They got some players. They need more. So
they do. And they have some free agents that they need to keep.
Yeah.
They can't let some of these guys go.
Yep.
It is a big upgrade for sure. It's a huge upgrade. Player coaches, though I like them, you have a few that did very well, like Torrey, LaRussa, but not many of them succeeded to that level. We saw Matheny didn't do very well. Ross did okay, but not very well. It's just, you don't see them big name players become very good coaches.
Yeah, and he says it all right there. If you're going to spend that kind of money to bring a manager like Craig Counsell in, you better be willing to spend money to bring in a couple more big name guys.
Yeah, you have to sign Bellinger. You have to. If you don't, you have 3 or 4 key free agents that have to be signed. That's like the Cardinals. We have depth in the outfield. You have to get rid of some of them, 1 of them, 2 of them. You have to add 3 or 4 really good starting pitchers, or you're going to lose baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot win baseball games with a stud star offense and no one to throw the ball and fool hitters and change of pace. You just can't. You can't. You need at least 3 starters on the Cardinals roster, or it's going to be another year missing the playoffs.
Yeah, but nobody here cares about the Cardinals.
I do. So it's off.
There you go. All right. Well, appreciate you if you've stuck with us this long. Need us. Yeah. Need a starter. Yes, you do. Yeah. Yes, we do.
And again, don't rely on our picks for your Vegas betting or sports book or FanDuel or whatever the hell you're doing.
Although, to be fair, I mean, if you're going with me, you're up. Well, you're going with you're up.
Yeah,
least we have winning records. I watch a lot of motherfuckers that get paid millions of dollars on TV that
Yeah.
aren't picking as good as we are. So
Right. That's for sure.
anyway, all right. Well, that's going to be it for this week. Again, happy Veterans Day. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Marine Corps. Hoorah.
Yeah.
And
Hope your cran flavored cake tastes good. Fucking jarheads. Happy
we
Veterans Day,
will
everybody. Fellow vet
we will
here. So I hope
appreciate
everybody
your service.
has a great weekend.
We'll be back probably middle of next
Drink a
week to
lot, go back
do
to
this
work Monday, and
shit all over again.
yep.
All right, folks. See ya.
Peace.